Hello and welcome to a Smurd P video, and today we're looking at Rangers Academy issue 10. And this is written by Maria Ingrande Mora, illustrations by Mi-Gyeong, colors by Joanna Levunt, letters by Ed Dukeshire, and I apologize if I've said any of those names incorrect. So our story begins with Lindy, Sage, and Matthias. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I could be completely wrong. Sometimes I forget names in this. And they are heading for her home world. And they manage to land quite all right. The weather's okay, according to Sage. She's a little bit nervous, a little bit worried. And for some reason, they're having trouble keeping an eye on Ranger Academy. So that means that at some point, we're going to realize something is wrong there. But guess who shows up? Tula. Tula is our mysterious guest who went there to see her dad. Probably not only because she didn't want to go home, but because she wanted to find out the truth. So it's nice to have Tula back in the mix, as well as Nugget. Nugget, her little creature, sheep, cow, pet, is there. So Dad is making dinner. He put the radar back on because, well, surprises are not what he likes. So it's a nice reunion between the two of them, and they start touching base on why they're there, which is to find out the truth. And he's finally gonna reveal the truth after 10 issues. Bear in mind, we've only got up until issue 12, and then this story comes to a close. So not long to go. So we learned that he had a friend called Zelon, who he didn't like at first, and they slowly became friends. And you can see the creepy librarian, whose name I've clearly forgotten again, just there. He looks like he doesn't fit in, but he does have this little group here. Now, we find out that Dark Spectre is able to possess people, and he started with a Green Ranger. So he does this so he can access the morphing grid. Takes possession, and he can take possession of any of them, which made them all suspicious. And gradually they locked down Ranger Academy and recall all friends off flight. So there were 2 flight engineers that were found dead. They weren't possessed, but they were poisoned. And their child was orphaned. So you can imagine who this child is. Well, it's quite obvious that it's Sage. So, however, the baby was possessed by Dark Spectre. And also we learned that, obviously, the flight that caused the crash that killed Tula's sister as well happened as well around the same time. So that's a big age gap in terms of ages. Do you get what I mean? Anyhow, moving on. So Zelon couldn't let it go, and he created a machine to do it. But Rianth, they begged him not to use it because it was too dangerous. But also the risk was Dark Spectre would jump from the baby, perhaps into him or somebody else. But Zianth was gonna go through with it. He was not gonna let this go. The other thing to know is that nobody had survived being possessed by Dark Spectre. Everybody that had been possessed, dead. So, but Zian couldn't let this happen to a baby, so he took Sage to the baby Sage to the green campus, where he released him. And then that's why Dark Spectre jumped into him, and Rian had to do what he did as the Red Ranger, was to end his friend, unfortunately. But the machine did, however, work. So Sage starts obviously blaming herself. Oh, this is me. Do you know what I mean? But in reality, it was Dark Spectre, and she was a baby for what, a very small period of time. So, you know, the fact that she that Dark Spectre used her body to tamper with a shuttle is quite a little bit ridiculous, because baby's not really strong. Well, they are strong to some extent, but not adult strong. Anyhow, moving on. So Tula, you know, reminds her that Dark Spectre did this, not you. And they had a good cry. We then get a thing saying that there's something wrong with Ranger Academy. So they start talking about heading back. And then they start debating the machine and who's going to use it. So he shows the machine. This is the only thing that Rian has off his friend in terms of what he creates. So the machine still exists. It has some green going on there. So they catch up, Sage and her dad. She shows him that she's got the green morpher, and she feels that Xian was sort of guiding her, and that's what it sort of felt like, etc. And we all sort of trust each other, although Sage doesn't trust herself. So that's the difference here, is these all trust each other. So that could be the difference here. So he doesn't want her to go back to Range Academy, and he wants them to all, you know, sort of stay back. But then, you know, he comes to a realization that she's going to go back. But there is an explosion. Lindy's not there. And, you know, you can imagine the worst is going through Sage's head. However, guess who's fixed the machine? That's right, Lindy to the rescue. So, next up, heading straight back to Ranger Academy. Hopefully to save the day and stop Dark Spectre. I'm still trying to get my head around. So Dark Spectre's body, I guess the way to look at it, in space, Dark Spectre's body was destroyed. However, the Zordon wave followed. So, but then again, we know that there were evil in other villains because they carried on Power Rangers. They didn't really explain it, as they do. And I guess Dark Spectre's, like before, his body was there waiting to enter a body. So, you know, I guess that's the only way to look at it. But hey, another great issue. I am actually really enjoyed this one. I'm enjoying the direction it's slowly going in. And I feel like another 10 issues, you could have something completely disastrous happening and these Rangers on the back foot. But unfortunately, they're gonna end it for their reasons. You know, they got Power Rangers Prime coming out. So, but this series really has grown on me, and it's been a joy to read at times. So anyway, hope you like my video. If you do, please support my channel by subscribing. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you look after yourself. Very important these days. And as always, embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.